Hi there folks, how you doing? I'm the Reverend Danny Crosby, a Unitarian minister serving congregations in Altrincham and in Urmston in the northwest of England. And I'm offering this devotion today as a balm for the heart, for the mind, for the spirit, for the soul. It is titled, How Do We Remember to Re-Feel Our Lives Again? So I invite us just to still ourselves. Let's invite a loving presence to be here amongst us and to awaken from deep, deep within us all. I have lit the flame of freedom in this cup of belonging, acceptance and love. So we join together once more, physically separate, but united in our devotion to life and to love. Holy One, who has given us the breath of life, today we remember to breathe deeply, to rest, to take in, to pause before we act. And then we take in another deep breath, poised on the edge and risk jumping in. Risk taking action. Risk speaking up. Risk using the gifts that we have been given, so that at the end of our life we may say with absolute clarity that no part of our existence was wasted in fear of failure or fear of success. Hold us. Prepare us the way to begin to offer the gift of our awakened presence, full of love and of light today. These are the prayers of our hearts that we lift up now. Amen. So the Olympics end today. I hope you've enjoyed them. I find that they always bring up memories of years gone by. They connect us, don't they, with the past and times in history, both personal history and universal. The Olympics are always caught up in their time and in their space. I'm sure that different ones mean so many different things. And in years to come, no doubt these Olympics will be known as the COVID Games. They've already been postponed for 1 year, remember. These are the 2020 Olympics, but they're taking place in 2021. And they've taken place without crowds of supporters cheering on the competitors, so a strange atmosphere. And they've also been the games that have highlighted various mental health issues that top athletes, as well as ordinary folk, suffer from. Society has changed and is changing, and this is reflected in all aspects of our lives, and this is a good change, that we're finally recognising these things and that people need help in difficult times. And haven't we all faced difficult times these last 18 months? Now, I have been watching the Olympics, but not with the same interest and attention that I have done in the past. I'm not sure why that is, although someone suggested to me the other day that it's probably because of the time difference. But I'm not convinced of that. Not entirely. As a child, I loved the Olympics. My first sporting hero was Brendan Foster, and this dates back to the 1976 Olympics at Montreal. I was only 4 years old at the time. Now, when I say that Brendan Foster was my first sporting hero, that's not entirely true. He was more my mum's, if I'm honest. Now, she loves the Olympics, and I suspect I enjoyed watching with her all those years ago. I was only 4 years old, remember. Now, the images that I recall from 1976 are not of the actual events as they happened there and then. They're more images that I've seen repeated over the years. They're not the actual sitting there watching, half asleep, I think. Although I think I woke up during the race. And my mum likes to tell the story of waking me late in the night so I could watch Brendan Foster's race. He came third and won bronze in the end. Now what is strange is that I don't have, this memory is not a visual memory, it's a felt memory. I have a felt memory of kind of being woken, not a visual one, an emotional memory. But this does not surprise me, as memory for me is much more felt, an emotional experience, not a visual one really. And in many ways it's the responses of the competitors after the events that stay with me more than just the actual event, the competition itself. I am touched by the joy of the emotion. I'm touched by the years of dedication that these people and those that have supported them have put into their lives. And it's not just the winners and the medalists, but also those that are just competing, not the winners, the many people and those that dedicated their lives for so long. It's deeply inspiring, and these feelings stay with me. They're stored in my heart and my soul. But no doubt others remember these things very, very differently. We are not the same, all of us. We don't think alike entirely, you know. If I've learned anything in life, it's that people can experience events, remember events that they are both present at very, very differently. And there are many reasons for this, but one may well be how their senses take in the experience, and another how they actually remember. Some people are much more visually minded than others, far more spatially aware. I am not one of them. I have noticed over the years how different my brother and myself are. We recall things very differently, and I suspect that this is because we process and thus remember very differently. We human beings are diverse creatures indeed. So while my brother and me look alike, people say this all the time, they always have, we're not really that alike, in other ways anyway. Now, a lot of my memories were lost for many years, but have over time been refelt, they've been re-experienced. And this is never an easy experience, but it's a rich one often in the end. When I say it's not always easy, I am understating things here. In truth, it can be excruciatingly painful. I have recently re-experienced some memories while visiting an old friend who's been staying in hospital up here in the northwest. No beds, it seems, down south. Thankfully, he has been able to return home, and I hope that his mental condition will continue to heal. During our conversations, we talked an awful lot of our days when we were students together here in Manchester. Events and people and experiences that before the conversation were lost to me. They were completely gone. They were lost somewhere from my mind completely. They came back though. Some amusing and wonderful, and others definitely not so much. There was an awful lot of camaraderie, friendship, joy shared together. We both had our own different romances that none of them ever seemed to end well. They were always disasters. But as we were sharing together, and afterwards as the memories came back, the memories for me were not that visual. They were felt memories. They were emotional. There's a vague recollection of an image, but it's not a full picture like I see pictures now. They were felt memories. They were resensed memories. They were, in the real meaning of the word, they were resentments, if you like. And you know what? They keep on coming as the days go by. I have a frustration, you know, as I've said many times before, deep, deep frustration. I wish we had a word for resensing things that didn't only have negative connotations. The word resentment only has negative feelings to it. But resentment means to re-feel, to resense something. But we don't have a word for doing so in a positive or even a neutral sense. And that's not what to resense something are not all negative. We should not be afraid to re-feel our lives. For my memories are mixed experiences really. Aren't all our memories a mixture of blessings and of curses? Just as life is a mixture of these things, to quote good old Moses, I lay before you life, blessings and curses, therefore Choose life. Do not be afraid to refeel these things. I wonder how your memories manifest in your lives. Maybe you could reflect on past Olympics and where you were in your life and the folk you shared those memories with. How do you remember? What senses in you come alive as you remember? Perhaps talk with some of the folk you shared those memories with. Ask how they remember. I bet when you do, you don't all remember in exactly the same way. There will be diversity in your memory. Memory is a mysterious thing. The way I remember my own life and the people I've shared my life with has changed over time. And the changes seem to coincide with the way I'm experiencing or experienced and understood my own humanity, really. For our lives are made up of those lives that went before us. Our lives are built on their lives and those that follow us too. Their lives will be built on our lives, the ones that follow us, and our contemporaries' lives. The ancestors that walked before us and those that will follow us are a part of us, you know. I find that incredibly humbling, don't you? Isn't that incredibly humbling? We're an important part, but a tiny part. No less significant than any other, though. It fascinates me how memories take shape and form and often reshape as time goes by. It amazes me how these memories seemingly almost reincarnate as the days pass. And I found, which I'm not sure some of the great thinkers would agree with, but then I don't claim to be a great thinker, so I don't really care. I found that in many ways it's memory that brings the moments I'm experiencing right here, right now, to life. How these ghosts of the past inhabit our every moment. They're there with us all the time. They're a part, the ghosts are part of us, really. Or they're following us like headlights behind us when we're driving down the motorway, on our tails perhaps. We don't live in a blank moment. Life's just not like that. Nor should it be. Now, one thing I've never had a great memory of or for is names, actually. And this is something I was talking with someone about the other day. He told me how much he hates it that people forget the names of others, particularly his own name, I think. He said he thinks it's disrespectful. People are not respecting people by not remembering the names. But is that all that we think about when we think of a person? I told him actually that I'm one of those people. I'm not good at remembering names. Or I can't. Names can somehow get lost. I can remember tiny, minute, intimate details of a person's life if they've told me them. Often, if I've seen a face, I always recognise it. Although I claim I don't have a visual memory, but my visual memory for faces is good. It's my spatial and surrounding things going on around an event that are useless. Absolutely useless. But facially, I have a good memory, and for details of people's lives that they've told me. But for some reason that I do not understand, names just somehow get lost somewhere, or often do. And by the way, it's not only the names of people and places and things that get lost. It's not just the names of people, but things too that kind of get lost too. I can remember minute details of events and place, and things like that. But the name just goes, and I don't know where it disappears to. Well, I'm told that that's only going to get worse as I get older. I'm 50 this year, which is pretty humbling again. And the wonderful American poet Billy Collins captures this perfectly in his poem Forgetfulness. And this poem was shared recently at the week last Thursday as our poetry group, Consolation, Sorrow and Joy, together in poetry and prose. And one of the group, Angela Fowler, loves Billy Collins, and she shared this wonderful, wonderful poem of his just a week or so ago. He has this ability to touch places deep within us, but he does it in a simple, easily relatable way. Very thoughtful and beautiful, but relatable too. And this Thursday I reminded Angela of that poem that she'd shared the week before, and you know what? She'd forgotten all about it, which is absolutely hilarious, and we all laughed about it afterwards. This beautiful moment of human connection and memory, really, and the memory of this poem. Anyway, here's the poem. I hope you like it. The name of the author is the first to go, followed obediently by the title, the plot, the heartbreaking conclusion, the entire novel which suddenly becomes one you have never read, never even heard of, as if one by one the memories you used to harbour decided to retire in the southern hemisphere of the brain, to a little fishing village where there are no phones. Long ago, you kissed the names of the 9 muses goodbye and watched the quadratic equation pack its bag. And even now, as you memorise the order of the planets, something else is slipping away. A state flower, perhaps, the address of an uncle, the capital of Paraguay. Whatever it is you are struggling to remember is not poised on the tip of your tongue, not even lurking in some obscure corner of your spleen. It has floated away down a dark mythological river whose name begins with an L as far as you can recall. Well on your way to oblivion, where you will join those who have forgotten how to swim and how to ride a bicycle. No wonder you rise in the middle of the night to look up the date of a famous battle in a book on war. No wonder the moon in the window seems to have drifted out of a love poem that you used to know by heart. Yeah, doesn't Billy Collins capture something beautiful, if a little painful here, as he always seems to do? Wonderful. Memory's a mystery. We all forget things. I keep on forgetting things at the moment, actually. My mind is a bit of a sieve. I think of this as the rain siling down outside, this kind of sieve-like way that my brain is at the moment. I know that's caused by grief and how grief manifests in my life, actually. How love and loss plays out. Memory just is not what I would like it to be. But thankfully I am able to keep a sense of humour about this. We have to maintain a sense of humour about such things, don't we, really? They do help. It's a sign of good health anyway, as the humour, as they used to say in medieval times. I still think it's true. That said, joking aside, there are types of memory loss that are just not funny at all. They're tragic. There is, of course, dementia in its many cruel forms, and the cruelest form being Alzheimer's, a disease which attacks the cortex of the brain, forming bundles of tangled plaque that inhibit conversation between the neurons as it takes away a person's identity and history as aspects of their whole humanity drift away. And the truth is, the longer that we live, the more likely we are to become one of its victims too. How heartbreaking it is. And while the Alzheimer's sufferer, of course, forgets, those who love them never let them go. Those who share memories with them hold their love. Those feelings are felt in that deeper place that cannot be destroyed by time. For love is eternal and love is immortal. Perhaps some of us feel these experiences more deeply, depending, I suppose, on how we experience life, and very painful. Sometimes they're so intense that we lock these memories away, of course, and that's why they can be disappeared. Trauma can cause this often in people's lives. So many memories of mine just got lost and locked away for so long. But it doesn't mean that the ghosts don't haunt us, and they can come knocking on your door again when you least expect them to. The memories are part of us, the ghosts are part of us, we don't lose them. But nor do we lose the love. Love is there all the time, and those feelings of deep love we've known in our lives are locked deep, deep in our being. And while our minds might not remember, our hearts and souls do. And this brings to mind a verse, an old verse from Isaiah chapter 49, verses 15 to 16. Beautiful, really, from Isaiah. Can a woman forget her nursing child, or show no compassion for the child of her womb? Even these may forget, yet I will not forget you. See, I have inscribed you on the palms of my hands. Your walls are continually before me. That's a kind of divine love that we can all hold, that we all feel at times, that we're all a part of. It can never be lost, even when our minds lose memory, forget things that were so a part of us at one time. These words, they came to me the other day actually, as I was a bit lost in something in my own thoughts, and for some reason I was looking at my hands, feeling the calluses on my hands that are caused by training, really, from weights, really. And as I looked at them and felt the calluses, really, refelt feelings, it was quite a powerful experience actually. As I was doing so, I then started to look at the palms of my hands, looking at the lines on my hands, as well as I like to look at the lines on my forehead that have been there from being a child, really, interestingly. Always a thing that amused people. But I looked at the lines on my hands, the heart line, the life lines, and remember the love I have known and the love that I have shared with those people that have made my life what my life is. And that's such feelings surely divine. They must be divine. But these feelings at times can be too much, can't they? And we close in and we close down, and the memories hide somewhere in some strange place, waiting to be born again. As I was thinking of these lines, I thought of some other wise words from a contemporary bit of wisdom, Thich Nhat Hanh, if that's how it's pronounced, who wrote in his book, Present Moment, Wonderful Moment. If you look deeply into the palm of your hand, you will see your parents and all generations of your ancestors. All of them are alive in this moment. Each is present in your body. You are the continuation of each of these people. Isn't he so right? All that has been before is a part of who we are in this moment, which is a part of the eternal life. A small part, but just as significant as any other. Each moment is divine. If we fully experience it, if we don't close ourselves down to it. Life awes me every single day, and it humbles me too. The more I learn, the less things make absolute sense. Every day I have a growing sense of how truly ignorant I am, you know. Nothing makes absolute sense to me, not completely. Nothing gives me a full picture. If truth be told, I don't know why I feel what I feel, or why my mind remembers and forgets things, and then suddenly the memory is more alive than it's ever been before. It was lost and then it's just there right in this moment, fully alive, fully experienced. Smarter people than me try to explain these things to me, but you know what? I read and I listen, but they don't give me an answer. Not really. You can break it all down, and there's some of its parts don't even begin to scratch the surface of what the whole experience is. It's helpful. It explains certain things, but no, it doesn't really explain how I experience memory, my own life and other memories. Not really. Not adequately. Doesn't explain what I experience and what I'm experiencing right this second, actually. But that's all right. It keeps me alive and wanting to learn and experience more, to be part of life even more. I'm grateful to be a part of this incredible mystery that's life itself, that I share with the people I share it with, that I get to experience the sensations of these memories coming to life in my body, in my heart, in my spirit. How I experience the experience of living here today. I am grateful, I really am, to experience this, the most amazing trip that anyone could have ever wished to be on. Thanks for being a part of it. What a ride, what a ride, what a ride, what a ride. I'm going to end this little reflection with just a few words of blessing. You know, we need to bless more. And we can all bless. And we bless by giving our whole hearts to life. So let's begin by blessing today. And how do we do that? Let's give our whole hearts to life. So I offer these final words. So let's once more return to our lives. Let's live open-heartedly, so that the Spirit that lives to set us free can enter into us and fill our hearts, so that we can become beacons of love and connection to those that we meet in this world. Let's not just dream the impossible dream. Let's live what the seemingly impossible life. Let's all be a part of this. What a ride, what a ride, what a ride. What a ride. And may we carry that spirit of love with us, and may we do so in all that we feel, in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Can you see the lines on your hands and on your face? Beautiful. Amen.